Hi, welcome back to our Honors Geometry playlist. On this video, we're going to find the distance between two lines. So the first thing I need to know is, where is my starting point? So I'm going to give you two lines, or maybe you'd have to find the equation of two lines. I need to know if I'm going to find the distance between 2 points. I need to know where I'm starting at. So first, let me graph these two lines. Here's y equals 2x plus 4. So there's one line. And here is y equals 2x minus 6. So here are my two lines. I want to find the distance between those two lines. Now, I could find the distance between these two lines at any point along the line, right? That distance isn't changing because these are parallel lines. They have the same slope. So it doesn't really matter where I start, but here's a pro tip for you. I would start at one of the intercepts. And the reason why I would start at an intercept is because those x and y intercepts in the coordinate pairs have a 0. In math, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing is much easier when there's a 0. So just to save you some time, I would encourage you to try to use an intercept. And I'm going to choose to start at 0, 4. Now, I could have chosen any other point that was on one of these two lines. I didn't have to choose an intercept even. I could have chosen that point right there to start at, or I could have chosen this point all the way up here. As long as it's on one of those lines, I've got a starting point. Now, I need to know what path I should take to go from the start to the ending point. So here's my starting point. And distance, the shortest distance between a point and a line is the perpendicular line between them. So I need the perpendicular slope to what was given. In this case, it would be -1/2. So when I'm taking this path from the point to a line, or from one line to another line, I need my starting point, I need to know where to start at, and I need to know what path to take. In this case, my perpendicular slope. Now, when I plot this perpendicular slope, you can see that I've got an intersection point. So I have a starting point. Let me erase some of these extra highlights. I've got a starting point and I have an ending point. I have two intersections. And if I count up where that intersection point is right here, that intersection is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. So my ending point is at 4, 2. And now what I need to find, the whole point of this problem is to find the distance between one line and another line. So I need to find the distance between 4, 2 and 0, 4. So I could do 4 minus 0 squared plus 2 minus 4 squared, which would get me the square root of 16 plus 4, which is the square root of 20, or 2 root 5. And you might need to refresh your memory on how to simplify some of those radicals again. That's all right. But as long as you got to the square root of 20, I am happy with the process there. Getting to 2 root 5 is just a nice extension of what we already knew. All right, let's try another one. I'm giving you these two lines. I want to find the distance between those two lines. So I will put my two parallel lines down here. Rise 3, run 2. All right, so there's my set of parallel lines. And I want to know what the distance is between them. So in order to find that distance, I need a starting point. You need some point to measure from. So I'm going to try measuring from one of the intercepts. And you could pick either one. I'm going to pick the y-intercept of 0, 6 because there's a 0 and the other number is positive. So I'm going to start at 0, 6. Now I need to figure out where am I ending? What's my ending point? But in order to get that ending point, I need to know what path to take to get there. I need to know what perpendicular slope I would use. In this case, I would need to use -2 over 3 because it's perpendicular to 3/2. So I'll go down 2 over 3. Down 2. Down 2 over 3. There we go. Down 2 over 3. Down 2 over 3. I graphed mine wrong the first time. Down 2 over 3. All right. And now when I graph these lines, I get a nice intersection. I have a starting point. I have an ending point. So I have these two dots. It's a lot of colors. Two dots where I can measure the distance. And the ending point should be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, comma 2. So the big key idea is you need to graph these two lines. Once you've got those lines graphed, pick one of the points on either line. Usually I would encourage you to pick an x or a y intercept. And then go from that starting point and do your perpendicular slope to find the other ending point, and then calculate the distance. So I would encourage you to pause the video here, find your distance between 6, 2 and 0, 6. And you should get 2 root 13. Okay. Now that is finding the distance between two lines given an equation. I'm going to do a different video on finding the distance given some ordered pairs. I would check that one out for 3, 6 if you were not sure